Okay, today I'm going to show you how to make a simple loaf of old-fashioned bread, the kind that mankind has been making for thousands of years. You don't need any fancy equipment. All you need is an oven, and you need flour, salt, a little bit of sugar, and some dry yeast. And you might need a spoon and something to put your yeast in, and you need a cooking rock, which is a stone thing you put in the oven. You can get it at a specialty store, or you can get a pizza pan, all the same. You need a couple bowls, and that's what you need to start with. Now you start by taking your dry ingredients. For one loaf, about 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Plain old all-purpose flour. That's 2, and that's about 1/2. Doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be exact. And you're going to throw in a good pinch of salt. That's probably a tablespoon of salt. And then you're going to proof your yeast. Now you're going to need 1 packet of yeast. Just 1 1/4 ounce packet of dry yeast right from the store. And you're going to mix it with about a tablespoon of regular sugar. And take that yeast, put it in there, and you want to mix it with 110-degree water. It can be as low as 105 degrees, but you need that hot water to get the yeast started. So I'm going to take the temperature, and then I'm going to mix it up in this little bowl here. Now I've got a thermometer here. I'm just going to measure my tap water right out of the hot water on the tap. And mine's about 109 degrees, which is about close enough. So I'm going to put that right there in the bowl. And this holds about 2 cups of water, which is exactly how much I need. Now I'm going to give this a good stir. Get that yeast stirred in there. And you see, it's not a real high-tech job here. I'm just stirring it up. And get that sugar stirred up in the hot water. And I'm going to let this sit for 10 minutes, and you'll see it'll start to foam. Okay, what we did here is proof the yeast. We put it in hot water with sugar, and we proved that it's rising. So we're getting a nice coating of foam on the top. And with that, what we're going to do is put it in with the flour and the salt. Now, I already mixed up the flour and the salt, so it's mixed together. I'm just going to take this whole 2 cups of yeast and foam it all and pour it in there. Now I'm going to stir this up real good until I get an even consistency. Now you see it's a little pasty. I'm just going to take another handful, maybe a 1/4 cup of flour, and mix in there. It's still a little too much, so another 1/4 cup, until it forms into a nice ball. When it's in a nice ball and not too liquidy, it's ready to rise. And what I'm going to do is put this in another bowl coated with oil so it won't stick later. Now I've got a nice ball. I probably actually want that a little thicker. It doesn't really matter, it just means I'm going to have a bigger loaf. There. Okay, now that's what you want, a nice consistent ball. So I'm going to take this and put it in another bowl coated with olive oil and cover it up and let it sit for 1.5 hours. Now you can see I got a nice ball of dough in there. I'm going to leave it sitting right in there and cover it up. And that's going to sit for 1.5 hours. After that, it's going to be risen and I'm going to be ready to form my loaf. What you want to do after 1 hour is preheat your oven. to 450 degrees with your rock or your pan already in it. Now you see I've got the cooking rock in the oven there, and the bread's going to cook right on that like an old-fashioned bakery. And I'm going to preheat the oven to 450 degrees now that the dough's been rising for about an hour. Now I'm going to take a peek at the dough here. It's got another half an hour to go while the oven preheats. But you can see it's rising real nice. And we don't want to scare it as it'll fall, but just let it sit there another half hour. Now here's something you can do while you're waiting. So you put a little bit of flour on your cooking rock in the oven and spread it out a thin layer so you can put your dough on it and it won't stick. And put a little bit of flour on your cutting board or your counter so you can knead the dough when it's ready. Okay, my oven's preheated, my dough's risen, and I'm ready to take this flour and knead it a little. What you want to do is punch it down a little bit, get a little flour so it doesn't stick to you. Cover it with flour and dump it out on the board. This way you get it all on the board. You want to coat it a little with flour and roll it and fold it over. Stretch it out, fold it over. Fold it over about 6 times. So that's 2, 3. It doesn't take a lot of work. You just want to get a couple layers in it. 4. I don't care, 4 or 5 times. It's about 6 times. And what I'm doing here, I'm twisting it. See, I'm putting a twist in it. I'm forming a long piece, I'm putting a twist in it. And I'm going to wrap it around like a donut. This is just my personal way to do it. Wrap it up, twist it, bring it about like a donut. So now it's a round loaf. And what I want to do is take my pan, get my olive oil. Now to put a nice coating of olive oil across the top. Just a coating. And that makes a nice crust. Now that I got that on there, now you could put it right in the oven like this if you don't have a rock, but I got a rock. So what I'm going to do is put it on my rock. I need a heating pad for this. I'll pull the rack out. Hopefully you can see this. And I'm going to transfer it onto my rock. Okay, it's on there. Now, it's in there. I'm going to set my timer for 25 minutes. Timer, 25 minutes, and we'll come back later. Okay, you can see what appears to be a tremendously huge loaf forming in the oven here. It's almost done. It takes about 5 minutes. The hardest part about this is getting it out of the oven with the camera in my hand. But now I'm going to take here the hot pad, pull it out, and man, that looks like fresh bread to me, doesn't it? See, I'm going to take my big spatula. You have to leave this hot plate in there to cool off. But I'm going to put this on the breadboard. And you got to leave it on the breadboard for a while. It's got to cool off. I mean, it's good now. You could take a bite off it, but it's nuclear hot, and if it cools off for about a half an hour to an hour, it's good. You just want to leave it sit there for about an hour in any case before you wrap it up in anything. But that's bread. 10,000-year-old recipe, and even a caveman can do it.